I'm getting ready to go to the gym, so listen up. I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you, okay? Some of you may think about this, may need to think about this. This is for my outside the box thinkers, you know, people like me, so like like-minded people, you know, square pegs in the round hole type people. When you decide to take on that life, or that lifestyle, I should say, it's hard, right? It's really hard. There's a lot of negativity. But it's really simple when you start thinking of it like this. If my decision to live outside the restraints of average thinking offends you, you should know that I'm not sorry. Those people need to ask themselves, who are they really mad at? Who are they really mad at? Who are they really feeling is inferior? The saying goes, you know, people want you to do well, but never better than them, right? I think we've all experienced this in one manner or the other. Maybe you have a history of drug use and you decide you're going to quit. Your friends don't want you to do that. They don't want you to do that. Maybe you've had a very poor financial background your whole life, and your friends have a very poor financial background your whole life. When you decide to change that, they're not going to like it. They're going to tell you that they like it and they're happy for you and they're proud of you until you start adapting the principles and the overall success in the matter. The very minute that you start succeeding at this goal that you set is the very minute that their insecurities and their shortcomings are spotlighted. But let's use money as an example. If you're smart enough to make it and live under $30,000 a year, you are smart enough to learn how to make 100. Think about how difficult it is to live in this country independently under $30,000 a year. It's a difficult task. It is a daunting task. A lot of people out there are doing that, and they're doing pretty well at it. So if you're smart enough to do that, why not apply that knowledge to making 100? You're making $30,000 a year. You're making $2,500 a month before taxes. If you're making 100, you're making $8,300 a month before taxes. So what if you applied the same work ethic, the same drive that you use to make it, to making an extra $6,000 a month? That's an extra $1,500 a week. That's an extra $215 a day. What could you do with that money? What progress do you think you could make with that? A lot of times I hear people say, I don't have enough money to do what I want to do, but they're buying shit like Jordans and spending $200 or $300 a month at a bar. The price of a pair of Jordan sneakers, you could start a Facebook campaign and reach a boosted post and reach an audience of almost 6,000 people. You could form a legal limited liability corporation in most states with the same money. This comes down to trimming the fat. Where are your priorities at? Where are you spending your money? Where are you spending your time, which is just as valuable, if not more valuable, than finances? But see, we'll have poor priorities, and then we want to blame everything and everybody else for the reasons we don't have what we want to have, which is a lie. You are lying to yourself, which is the worst person to lie to, because at the end of the day, it's all about the person who stares back at you in the mirror. It's your life. I've been pretty open about this. I grew up fairly poor. You know, my parents worked their ass off their whole life, but we just didn't have a lot. And what actually inspired me to start living and walking my own path, first and foremost, before anybody else, was my mom. My mom has cut hair since I can remember. It's all she did was cut hair, but she was cutting hair for somebody else and not making a lot of money doing it. Until I was about a junior in high school and she rented a building and started her own business. Fast forward to now, she now owns that building. She has 3 people cutting hair for her, someone doing nails, and another person doing massage. And she's making 5 times the amount of money. But that wasn't enough for mom. Nope, my mom's a badass. So she got involved in a network marketing company, and she's pulling another $25,000 a year from that. That's when it all clicked for me. You know, when I started watching my mom and watching how her life changed and how her smile changed, just because she was more fulfilled. She doesn't have to be worried about what food we're eating, how much gas we're putting in the car. She doesn't have to do that anymore because she worked her ass off, she had a plan, and she executed. You know, my mom she had me fairly young. So she had a rough go of it getting started, but I asked her, you know, what would be one piece of advice she'd give me. Mom looked me dead in the eye and she told me, don't listen to people who say that you can't. which is an odd piece of advice coming from a parent. She's basically giving you permission to go be broke, not have a job, and work your own career for what takes a long time. But she realized the one simple thing, that fulfillment in your life is the only step to true and meaningful happiness, long-lasting happiness. And realize that you are going to lose people on the way. It is unavoidable, but it's also necessary. Stay your path. Warren Buffett used to say, the chains of habit are oftentimes too weak to be felt before they are too strong to be broken. Think about it. Say something, and this is not to be braggadocious. This is not to boost my ego. This is so you understand what's possible for you. I came from very little, from not a lot. I was a C student in high school. I've dropped out of college 3 times. 3 times! But you know what? I am gonna make almost $8,000 next week. And if God seems fit and everything goes to plan, over 20 grand next month. And I'm not special. Guys, I am not special. I am self-taught. I worked my ass off to self-educate myself, and you can do the exact same thing. I'm just telling you, I say it a lot, money is not everything. But I talk about it a lot, and here's the reason, because I never had any. But I have a little bit now, and guess what? My life has a lot more opportunity. My life has a lot more fulfillment. My life has a lot more experience. And it's because I worked and I made more money. I didn't pick it for $15 an hour. I didn't beg for free college. In fact, I wanted free college, so I went to war to earn it. Instead, I looked myself in the mirror and said, stop being a fuck up and get your shit together. I was very real with myself. I took responsibility for my own life, my own actions, my own finances, and my own happiness, instead of placing the blame on everything around me and clouding the real problem. If you are one of those people who complains about not having enough, and that's all you do, just realize you are going to die complaining.